Hello and welcome to the TeamVVV podcast for all your weekly racing game rambles. I'm Martin and joining me is Kevin.
Hello, hello.
Sadly, Alan couldn't join us again this week. He obviously just can't tear himself away from Pokemon Go.
Yep.
In fact, the last time he's actually in Swindon. Apparently they don't have internet there for some reason. So there you go. Yeah, this week he's just going to be a guest appearance on his own podcast.
Yep, very true. Hopefully we'll get him in next week before Gamescom kicks off. We can have a nice little chat about that because, of course...
Yeah, we'll definitely hopefully have a Gamescom preview next week.
Yeah, Alan will be attending, so that'd be pretty cool. We'll get some good footage for you for all these upcoming titles.
Exactly. Yep, looking forward to that.
Yep.
And before I forget, do like and subscribe.
And I nearly forgot to pull you up about it as well this week.
I remembered. From now on, I always remember.
Yeah, write a big note on it.
Yeah.
Stick it on your monitor.
So yeah, if you didn't get that, do like and subscribe. It does help us out a lot. And also, we have lots of great giveaways this week again. Obviously, last week we had the Thrustmaster TMX. Winner will be announced for that soon, so do watch out for that on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
This week, though, we have Project Cars for PS4. Not to make PS4 owners be left out after, obviously, last week we did the Xbox One version.
Yep, we're all about equality.
All we have to do is follow our Twitter feed and share the post, and that's it. And we've also got some an MXGP2 track DLC to give away as well. So yeah, if you own MXGP2, easy giveaway.
And if you don't own it, well, there's no point really going for it, is there?
No, you need to own the. We should have made that clear in the terms. Actually, you need to own the game.
Yeah, it does help.
Play the DLC.
Yeah, don't go putting the code in and thinking, why is it not coming up? You need the game. Right.
Yeah, game ownership is required for that one, I'm afraid.
So deadline is Sunday, the 3rd of August.
Yep.
I was going to say July then, but we are in August. And you can actually enter on a Sunday. We collect all the entries on a Monday, so you're probably good up.
Winner at some point that week.
Yeah, so if it's a Sunday, you can still enter. So go for it. You're gonna have a good chance of winning. We do get a lot of entries outside.
You do.
Well, yeah, we do get a lot of entries outside the UK. So you'll be surprised just how good the odds are. So you know it's UK only, but who knows? In the future, we may.
We have had. We have had a lot of people complain about that, but we will be looking into that at some point.
We do the best we can, and yeah, as you say, we may expand that. So fingers crossed.
What can I say? I didn't know we had such an international reach.
Yeah. There you go.
So there we are. Right. So kicking off, great news. Assetto Corsa has gone gold.
Yay!
Which is brilliant news for console owners because it's been delayed so many times. It's a relief to actually have official confirmation that it's happening.
Yes, it will be out on August the 26th, come rain or shine. No more delays, which is fantastic. Yeah, I almost have to pinch myself that this title is going to be coming out for the consoles. It's incredible when you think about it.
I know what you mean. When it first came out, I just kept thinking, oh, I wish I had a PC that could play that.
Yeah, I mean, it's about as hardcore as it gets, isn't it? And to see it on the console market it just goes to show how far we've come in terms of getting the more sort of serious games out on the consoles and making the consoles a viable platform for these sim racing games. And hopefully, like we say every week, hopefully Assetto Corsa will sell well on the consoles, and then that will sort of really cement the Sims coming to the consoles in the future. So I'd love to see Assetto Corsa do well, purely so we can get more sim titles on the consoles, because we've been crying out for it for many years and we deserve it, god damn it.
That's right. I mean, you could argue that Project Cars really paved the way for the kind of more hardcore sim to make a real impact on consoles.
Absolutely. I mean, that was I mean, we've got our Gran Turismos and the Forzas, although Forza seems to be more and more getting away from that sort of sim.
So they're not truly hardcore sim like you get on the PC. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, like you say, Project Cars really was the sort of torchbearer. It was the very first title that was a dead serious sort of sim focus, and that's very much carried the torch. And Assetto Corsa is right in behind that, and it's a big step up though between Project Cars and Assetto Corsa. Assetto Corsa really is as hardcore as it gets, pretty much.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's I mean, what's also good as well is there's no real compromise in the console port. We're starting to see that a lot more now because there's always this worry that, when it's a high-spec PC game, you need a high-spec PC to actually get the most out of it. But I mean, apart from the resolution, you could argue there's not that much compromise from what I've seen on the console version. I mean, if anything, the package is growing all the time.
Absolutely. I mean, for the they've been bringing in developing more road cars purely to get the numbers up because of the console market. People expect over 100 cars. I believe Assetto Corsa is between. It depends where you read it. I guess over 80 or over 90. I've read cars at launch, so that's pretty decent. Because console owners have been spoiled with car lists over the years, so they've really had to increase those numbers. It was very, very important that they did that before release. So they've got the numbers up to around 80 or 90, so that's fantastic. And of course, that's going to continue to grow as they develop the title, and they're going to develop the PC version and the console version side by side. So one won't have preference over the other, so they'll be equally developed. So that's going to be very interesting to see how that turns out.
I mean, I guess anything that worries me a little bit about Assetto Corsa is the AI, because I've heard pretty bad things about it.
And
I don't know, it might have improved by now.
Yeah,
I haven't played the PC version, but
much like the car list, the AI has been a huge focus from the development team.
Again, that's something that console owners expect. I mean, there was a point on the PC version where you couldn't even race AI opponents. It was purely just time trials.
Yeah, I mean, there've been a lot of complaints in the past with AI on the PC version, but
again, console owners are used to it with Gran Turismo, so
Yeah, Gran Turismo was very much on rails AI, wasn't it?
Can't be much worse than Gran Turismo.
Yeah, and often you'll find yourself either first or last. So I mean, AI is notoriously difficult to program and develop. It's I mean, how can you emulate the human brain? Like it's always going to be very tough. But Assetto Corsa certainly has made a lot of strides in the AI recently, and they recently released a build that the feedback from fans was very positive. So I'm not worried about the AI. Yeah, I'm not worried about the AI for launch. So I've got confidence in the development team in Kunos because they're so transparent. When fans ask questions, they're like yes, no. They give you a straight answer, which is so refreshing to hear. They're not frightened to say no. Our game does not have this.
Yeah, or no. They haven't got that sort of PR wall.
Yeah, and
defending them.
I imagine that's because they're a small team. They're close knit. They're no nonsense.
They're a tiny team.
Yeah. I think they're about 12 people or something. And Alan was saying that only one guy does all the tracks. So they're incredible in team, an incredibly talented team. They shoot from the hip. They give you straight answers, and you can only respect that. And they're role models for other development teams. And I just wish them all the success because I think they've got something special here. And I just hope that the game on the consoles is going to be just as good as the PC. But like you say, there is the resolution. You got 1080p on the PS4, and I believe the Xbox One is 900p.
Yeah,
which is very common in gaming. So,
but it's 60 frames.
It is 60 frames, and it needs to be, but doesn't it? Because it's any hardcore sim has to be 60 frames. If it's not 60 frames, it cannot be called a sim. Simple as that.
You're flinging for Alan there.
I am, but you need that feedback on the suspension and the tires, and
you're absolutely right. Yeah, I mean, it makes a world of difference. Just the lack of control lag makes all the difference as well. The actual controls feel so much smoother,
and it feels so much more realistic.
Better sense of speed, and
I don't know if you remember back in the Gran Turismo 1 days. I think it was 1. You had the option for a 60 frames race right at the
vaguely
end of one of the modes. I'm not sure which one it was now, but it gave that option for 60, and it was incredible because you're playing through this game at 30 FPS or thereabouts, and you're given this option for 60 frames, and you play it, and it's unbelievable. It's like an arcade experience because arcade cabinets games were 60 frames, and you know, they got rid of a lot of visuals in order to, you know, to make the 60 frames, but it's incredible. And that was probably my first experience with 60 frames on a home console.
I remember Ridge, slightly different genre, but I remember Ridge Racer did a similar thing where I think they released a separate demo of the original game as a 60 frames demo, and they bundled it with, I think it was 4.
Ah, okay, I never knew that.
And that was around the same time as Gran Turismo, so it's like it's almost like they've just discovered 60 frames.
Yeah, because it would have been 60 frames on in the arcades, and
yeah, exactly.
Back then, you know, when you bought the PlayStation with Ridge Racer, I mean, I just, you have to pinch yourself back then because it was incredible. It was like bringing the arcade to the home, and you load up your Ridge Racer and, you know, you play it and you think, wow, this is amazing 3D. You know, you're sliding around the corners and it's just like the arcades. Of course, it's not like the arcades because when you go back to the arcade, then you can compare them. But, you know, 60 frames does make a huge difference. So there you go. I've done my little piece, Alan. Alan shall be proud.
He will be proud. Yeah, so going back to Assetto Corsa, yeah, so it recently announced that Porsche is making a big comeback, as we know, in Assetto Corsa.
Yeah,
and just recently it's been confirmed that we'll be getting 3 separate DLC packs with 24, I believe, Porsche models in total.
Incredible. So I assume that's going to be 8 per pack. I mean, initially we thought there was going to be 2 car packs, and, you know, typically a car pack would have maybe between 5 and 8 cars, maybe. So yeah, I mean, 24. I don't know about you, but I mean, that number is, for me, that's really high. I mean, that's
a big chunk of the overall car list when you think about it.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's a huge chunk. Incredible. I mean, these numbers, I don't think even Forza Motorsport had as many as 24. It had thereabouts.
I was thinking about that, yeah, because we have the
22 or something.
I think the Porsche pack that came out for Forza 4, excuse me, had a few more Porsches in it than the one for 6.
Yeah.
But still,
I mean, as a percentage, we're looking at something like 30% of the cars. It's incredible.
Exactly. There's no Aston Martins.
No, there's a few manufacturers that's sadly missing, but
yeah, it is a shame.
It is a shame, but I'm just happy to know that hopefully the cars should act as they would in real life, and so I'm happy that they've got 80, 90 cars. That's fantastic.
Exactly. Yeah, you know, getting a true to life sort of representation.
I mean, even if there was only 30, 40 cars, I'd still be happy because, like you say, every car should feel different. Every car should be representative of its real life thing. But to have 80 or 90 at launch, is going to be like Christmas for me. You know, going to the Nürburgring Nordschleife. I mean, I'm going to be in absolute heaven there.
You can guarantee as well, they will probably support it after launch as well. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said earlier, they're developing alongside the PC title, so we're going to get car packs coming left, right, and center every so often. So yeah, really looking forward to this game. If you haven't already, you know, worked out, but yeah,
if they're going to support it, it needs to be successful though. So buy it.
Yes, absolutely. Buy it.
Click that pre-order button now.
Yes, do so.
So yeah, what were you saying about the Porsches?
Yeah, so they're expected to it's a late September launch for the Porsches, so it will miss the console launch, sadly. So we've got it's about 3 weeks now till console release, so not too long to go. So the news was actually broke on the development blog, so it's very easy to miss. You had to watch the blog, which lasted probably over an hour usually, and it just sort of a very subtly sort of put in there, and you know, it was but you know, no price has been mentioned yet, but there is a season pass, actually, surprisingly. So it's a very console like thing there, first for Assetto Corsa. So it'd be interesting to see what that actually gives you access to. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the season pass, what sort of DLC they've got lined up. Yeah, who knows? I mean, they're going to be securing licenses in the future, and no doubt that will come to Assetto Corsa and the consoles in the future.
And again, like I said, if it is successful, that could potentially pave the way for securing more licenses as well.
Yeah, and where do we go from here? I mean, will we get games like RaceRoom coming to to the consoles and games like that. Who knows? It's exciting times at the moment.
It is. Well, I suppose RaceRoom does sort of function on a different sort of model where it's like pay to play. You have to buy all the cars and sort of make your own package.
Yeah, I mean,
so
who knows?
I'm not quite sure if that would translate so well for consoles.
Yeah.
It's not a game I've really. Neither of us have a high-spec PC, unfortunately, so it's not really a game I've been able to explore very much. There was an update recently. We had the Mercedes-AMG GT3 announced.
Yeah, and it's the third GT3 car that's currently in development.
Yeah.
So I believe the game's got quite a few GT3 cars already. So there's plenty there for GT3 fans, certainly.
I've liked what I've seen from that game though, especially the engine sounds.
Oh, top notch!
I mean, wow.
Yeah, it's like as a console gamer, you think, well, why can't I have this? Why do PC gamers get this and we don't? It's so hopefully Assetto Corsa will turn the tide on the audio there and really sort of light a fire up the bums of GT Sport and things like that. It's
oh god, we're getting into GT Sport bashing territory again.
No, let's not go there. So, yeah,
we do like Gran Turismo. Honestly, we both grew up on the series. We're massive fanatics on it.
We are. That's why we're passionate about it, and that's why we moan about it, because we love it so much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, apparently it's only 70% complete, so I had to get out there. How is that possible? It's out in what?
Yeah. So we're moving on to that one. Yeah.
Well.
It's surprising. Although, is it surprising?
Is it? No, it's not really. I mean,
it's not. No, because they're notorious for delaying games, aren't they? Polyphony.
It'll probably be out 2018 at this rate.
I don't believe that it will delay the release.
No.
But
if I was Kaz and I saw Assetto Corsa, I'd probably delay it myself.
It will release as unfinished game, I believe. Unless the 30% is all polishing and all that, then that's fine, I guess.
We just don't want another Gran Turismo 5 because the same thing kind of happened to that.
Yeah, and that really damaged Polyphony and the brand Gran Turismo.
It did. It really damaged the reputation of the series. And
yeah, I mean, look at the sales of GT6. I think they've only sold maybe a little bit over 2 million the last I checked, which is tiny numbers compared to all the other iterations.
Yes,
really, really hurt the series, which it's really sad to see. I'm desperate for Gran Turismo to return to its former glories, and I honestly don't believe it's going to be Gran Turismo Sport. I don't think that's going to do it, because it's going to be quite. I mean, its focus is online, and most people just play through the campaign mode. With the Sunday Cups, Clubman Cups, all different championships, and all that good stuff. And I love all that. That's the majority of people are interested. So it's getting the majority of people over to the sort of esports, and that's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's a hard sell, I think.
Because the campaigning GT Sport, as far as I understand it, is a bunch of missions, and
it's basically like GT5 Prologue.
Yeah, it doesn't have the structure that the career modes have in GT 4, 5, 6, all those really comprehensive career modes. I mean, we're going backwards in some respects, because I think the best career mode was probably GT4.
Yeah,
the sheer number of events. You had all these manufacturer specific races as well, which I loved. I mean, there was so much content in GT4, and then 5 came out and it was sort of a general lack of content compared, and 6 didn't really improve on that, and then obviously Sport is going backwards. So
perhaps they've realized that some of the competition have overtaken them in some aspects like that, so they're trying to sort of carve out a new niche, maybe.
Yeah. The problem I have is they're going to be spending so much time and resources in GT Sport that when are we going to see GT7? Are we going to see GT7 on the PS4? Who knows?
Well, it's interesting because I actually read today that in another interview with Kaz, that apparently you could almost call it Gran Turismo 7 Sport. It's just because the sport aspect is such a big feature of the game.
Yeah, I completely disagree with Kaz there. Even though he's the creator, I'm happy to say no, Kaz. That. How could you call this GT7? It's not GT7 at all. GT7.
It's confusing what it actually is.
Yeah, there's a lot of etiquette events and stuff, which is great to see. I'm excited for for Gran Turismo Sport for two things, really. I'm excited for the VR aspect, and I'm also excited for the sort of iRacing system they're putting in, like with the safety rating, because GT6 and GT5 online is pretty crazy at times, a lot of bumping and stuff going on, and so I'd be interested to see how people respect the sort of etiquette in GT Sport. Hopefully it goes well, and people are genuinely worried about their safety rating, and racing as a result will be clean, because I mean that really excites me. If you can get clean racing in just your usual open lobbies, as opposed to having to go to a private lobby and set up a clean race with clean drivers. There's a lot of hassle, there's a lot of planning that needs to be put in place to get clean races on GT5 and 6. If they can get that as standard on GT Sport, that would be fantastic, and that would make GT Sport a go-to game for online racing for the console gamers.
Yeah, so again, they are trying to differentiate themselves, I guess, from the competition in that regard, but you do worry that by doing so, they are neglecting other core aspects of the game. I mean, the videos we've seen so far, the visuals and audio just hasn't impressed. It's just not up to the standard you'd expect for games now. That is a real worry.
Yeah.
I mean, similarly, the car count as well is lacking compared to what we're used to in the series. I mean, at launch, it's going to have 137 super premium cars.
Yeah, super premium. I mean,
super premium. Yeah, they finally ditched the woeful standard cars that were in GT4. What were they thinking?
I mean, I was all for the standard cars for GT5, but then I reversed my stance for GT6. GT6, really? I don't use the standard cars at all. No.
It just looks so out of place. You've got this really beautifully rendered, I don't know, Ferrari or something, and then there's like this really horrible low-res Daihatsu next to it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so it
looked like those like background cars on the side of the track that are really poorly rendered.
That's right. Yeah, they were so bad.
I remember them. Yeah, like did you ever spend photo mode just zooming in on them?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Obviously, it's yeah. They do look pretty poor.
Well, on the other hand, interesting. They have announced again in an interview that they are planning to have over 500 cars in the long term for GT Sport. So again, that kind of does reiterate really my thoughts that GT Sport was more of a platform than an iteration.
Yeah, it's something that's much like Assetto Corsa. It'll be developed over years and years, with new tracks, new cars, stuff like that. Fine tuning the physics and whatnot and the rules. The
problem is, Assetto Corsa can get away with it because it's a new IP, but this is Gran Turismo. It's used, we're so used to having like 1,000+ cars.
It'll probably become almost like a test bed for GT7 regarding
if there
damage.
Is a GT7.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I mean, GT Sport is really GT7 Sport.
Yeah, it's who knows? I mean, can they develop sport alongside a Gran Turismo 7 title, and then use sport as like a beta to test in?
I mean, they are a massive company. Let's be honest. I mean, they have the resources to do so if they wanted, but
yeah, often
I don't know what they've been doing for the last few years.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, they said there wouldn't be a massive gap between the Gran Turismo titles, but who knows? I'm hoping we see GT7 at some point. Maybe
probably towards the end of the PS4's life cycle at this rate.
2018, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope so.
Let's hope so. I mean, again, if they're spending all this time developing extra cars for GT Sport, you do wonder if they are going to be able to split the resources to still work on GT7. I mean, it's possible.
Well, I mean, regardless, they're going to be able to work on
that.
Yeah, I mean, whatever happens, that they have to spend the time on car models for GT7 anyway.
Yeah.
So just putting them in sport makes good sort of business sense. But GT7, there's pressure on polyphony. They have to come back strong, because 5 and 6 just disappointed overall. I mean, I love GT6, but generally speaking, 5 and 6 were a disappointment, and I think sport is probably going to be a disappointment. So I think GT7,
I think
really
people are going to have these expectations, and I'm not so sure if it's going to deliver. At least not on some of the core aspects like visuals, audio, car count.
I mean, all of that I don't care too much about that. What I care about is the core gameplay. Can they pull off a clean racing environment where people are rewarded for racing cleanly? You know, that's the question with GT Sport, because if it's rubbish, if it's bumper cars and no damage, then it's dead. You know, if they can have a game that encourages good racing, you know, good etiquette, like they're trying to. It looks like they're doing all the right things. If they can pull it off, then it'd be a fantastic game. We'll just have to
it
wait
has
and see.
potential really to be kind of like the iRacing of console racing games.
Yeah, much
Except
cheaper
without,
as well.
without a subscription fee. Yeah,
Exactly. So, although there was some sort of mention of paying FIA fees for some license.
That's true.
Online license. I don't know. Sounds like a load of nonsense to me, but there you are.
Yeah, there's still cause for concern, though, I think, with the long-term fans that still have these expectations. I think that's where they might fall a bit short, but we'll wait and see. I mean, and also, obviously, as long as it drives well, that's the other main thing.
Yeah, I mean, Gran Turismo always handles well. It may not be a simulation, but it's got a decent handling model that's sort of predictable and it feels solid enough. But you know, some of the areas where it's let down is the AI, you know, damage, sound. These are the areas. But I guess with GT Sport, it's going to be less about the AI and more about the like the sound and the damage.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll have to wait and see. It's out in November, so there's still time for it to evolve.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, right now, though, we've still got Forza Motorsport 6, which is still continuing to evolve with these monthly car packs. Right now, we've got the release of the Summer Car Pack, which adds a few more iconic race cars. Again, very good, varied car pack, I have to say.
Yeah.
We've got the Ferrari F158 Formula One car, which I believe is the first appearance in a racing game. I haven't seen anything else.
That's news to me. That's cool. So let me just get this up. So this is the summer car pack, isn't it?
Yes.
Available today, I think it was. So we've got 7 models. A very unusual mix, actually.
Yeah, it's a bit.
Yeah, you've got some really, really interesting classic models, and then you've got the sort of more modern, sort of mundane stuff. I mean, it's still good. They're still decent cars, but compared to the classic cars, I mean, it's an unusual mix. I mean, the Nissan R91 CP, fantastic car. I mean, I think we had the R92 on Gran Turismo, if my memory serves me. I think there was another one. But,
yeah, then you got some Cadillac sedan.
Yes, it's very odd, isn't it? I mean, that Datsun, that ZX Turbo, I mean, that looks incredible. And the Watson Special Roadster, that looks like another phenomenal car. I don't know anything about it, but visually it looks stunning.
Yeah, this is the kind of diversity I worry that won't be in Gran Turismo Sport. That's the thing. Forza keeps almost showing them up, to be honest, in terms of the cars they've secured. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I'd like to see. Yeah, we don't know anything about the GT Sport car roster, do we, at the moment? So
not an awful lot, apart from the
reveals in the
overabundance
videos.
of concept cars.
Yeah, that's true. It's yeah, I'm just that was another thing I complained about before. You know, we might see. You know, a lot of these sort of quirky cars might not be there because they'll be focusing on race cars, because you've got your 3 or 4 categories, and you know, I just hope they've got a category that has a lot of interesting cars in it. You know, not just race cars, not just GT3, not just LMP ones, things like that. I hope to see something a bit more interesting, a bit more eclectic.
Yeah, we've already got project cars for that as well. You could argue.
Yeah.
It needs to focus on motorsport and proper racing cars.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
There we go. But yeah, Forza Motorsport 6 continues to evolve with content. I do wish they'd release some more tracks, though, I must admit.
It is lacking for tracks, isn't it? So
we need some more. I mean, they tend to release the tracks with expansion. They're themed expansion packs, like the NASCAR one and the Porsche expansion.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an area that they need to improve in future sort of Forza Motorsport 7 will be next year, won't it? So
yeah, it's funny. I mean, you've got Forza, which has loads of cars but not really enough tracks, and then Project Cars, which has too many tracks and not enough cars.
And then Assetto Corsa, which has probably not enough cars and maybe not enough tracks. So yeah, it's there's always something in the game, isn't there, that holds it back a little bit. But
yeah,
I mean, but like you say, Forza Motorsport, I mean, it's showing up the rest of the games with the car packs and the sort of sheer variety of cars that they've got. I mean, it definitely by far the most interesting.
It has for me overtaken Gran Turismo in that area.
Yeah, it's just a shame that the handling model isn't as good as it perhaps could be.
It was a bit of a backward step, I think, in 6.
Yeah,
but then again, we have now got Assetto Corsa, which should make up for that.
Yeah, very, very much looking forward to that.
And don't forget, we've got Forza Horizon 3 on the horizon, you could say.
Yeah, it was interesting because they revealed the Cadillac sedan was going to be available for Forza Horizon 3, which I wasn't expecting because I was watching the trailer for Forza Motorsport 6, and then all of a sudden the Motorsport 6 logo disappeared, and you got this Forza Horizon 3. And what's going on here? And all of a sudden you're in the Forza Horizon world. So
yeah,
that was very cleverly done. I thought I certainly weren't expecting that. You see the car sort of revving off the line, and that was really slickly done. So
yeah, it's a novel way of merging the two franchises.
Yeah, I'm just looking back at the Forza Horizon vehicle reveal, and the Cadillac is actually in there. So I wasn't sure. So not as slick as I thought, but there you are.
They should have made the Cadillac the cover car.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure that would have went down. But that week 3 vehicle reveal actually leaked on July 28th, so we've known about it for a little while. It was interesting to see.
Again, I think there are a few sort of debuts, cars that haven't featured in racing games before, namely the Ferrari 166 MM.
Yes,
it's all about the Ferrari race cars. It seems that really.
Yeah, there's a lot of classic race cars. Have you noticed in these upcoming racing games? There's been a lot of classic car reveals lately, so that's really good to see.
Well, it's good though because it's something that has been lacking, I think, especially in F1 games. I mean, I think like we said last week, we haven't really seen a proper lineup of classic F1 cars since F1 2013. So it's good to see them make a bit of a comeback. Yeah,
it was such a shame, wasn't it, that we only got that for the one title, and F1 2014 it was gone. So that was quite surprising. But there's a market for the classic cars clearly because we're seeing more and more of it. So hopefully we can see a return of the sort of classic content for maybe for F1 2017.
Yeah, I mean, there is demand for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, go on, sorry.
Got the Renault 5 Turbo in the vehicle reveal there. I noticed. Love that car. It's
imagine driving that off road.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is it's interesting, isn't it? A couple of Aston Martins there, so you can get your Aston Martin feel.
Yeah,
that you won't get in the Assetto Corsa, sadly.
Yeah, I'm just getting the list up myself.
Honda Civic Type R, another car I love.
Alfa Romeo Milano, that's an interesting choice. That definitely won't survive off-road.
So 40 cars in total.
This is a game where you can drive a Lamborghini Huracan at full speed off-road.
Yeah. Sand will not slow me down. Oh no. So yeah, it's another nice mix of classic and modern, which we seem to say every week now. I mean, they just keep bringing them out. Great mixes, great variety. But again, not massive amount of off-road stuff yet. So
I think they're probably saving that for the later lists.
Yeah, because it does seem to be a massive off-road focus, doesn't there, on the Forza Horizon 3? So it is surprising. Yeah,
again, it's definitely a kind of motorstorm vibe going on there with the buggies and the
sort of raid stuff.
Oh, I miss
pretty
that.
Cool. Yeah. Hopefully, hopefully Evolution Studios are working on a sort of MotorStormy type game. Who knows?
Yeah, I do still wonder what they're up to and when we'll know.
Yeah, it's still early days, isn't it? So hopefully we'll get to. Might not be this year, might be next year. They might get the reveal.
I mean, Evolution do have a lot of off-road racing game routes, obviously having done the WRC series and MotorStorm. So could we get a comeback for that? I really hope so.
Yeah, I mean, with Dirt Rally, I mean, I don't think Evolution will be working on the rally title.
Probably not. No, we've got enough rally games to cope with at the moment.
That's true. Yeah. So, yeah, I'd love to see a modern MotorStorm with VR. That would be awesome. Awesome.
That's true. Do we really have any sort of destruction-focused VR games yet? I don't think we have.
No, I don't believe so.
To my knowledge.
No.
Yeah, not so sure. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So speaking of VR, we had the well, I would say announcement, but it's been taken down. Driveclub VR was confirmed as a launch title for PlayStation VR in Japan. It was, I believe, on an official blog post, but it mysteriously got taken down.
It did.
So I'm not sure what's happening there.
So it's interesting. I mean, there's no actual confirmation for the UK yet, but it's just a matter of time, isn't it? If it's coming out in Japan, it has to come out in the UK, doesn't it? On the October the 13th, on the launch day of the PlayStation VR.
Yeah.
So Paul Rashinsky, he weighed in, didn't he? He said the new tracks are awesome. So we've got new tracks coming, along with
more city tracks.
Yeah, so it's going to be a Project Gotham vibe.
Oh,
Project Gotham in VR, basically. That's awesome. And we're going to get some realistic 3D audio, apparently.
Yeah, which is interesting. I mean, Driveclub had brilliant audio to start with.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I imagine that just ties in with the VR, doesn't it? The 3D audio.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Sort of,
yeah, Driveclub is definitely a standout game to play in surround sound, I found.
Okay, I've not actually had the pleasure.
Those engine notes, they do really make an impact.
Yeah.
If you have a decent sound system. I remember too, even the dynamic PlayStation theme they released, even that had surround sound with the engines going past.
Oh, okay. I do actually have that installed on my PlayStation 4. It had to be done, didn't it?
Oh yeah, that was a nice Christmas treat last year.
So yeah, I mean, for me, I was never a huge fan of Driveclub. I probably needed to put more time into it. I think that's what the problem was. I didn't put enough time into it, and I couldn't quite get the most out of the game. But with VR, I mean, that's going to be absolutely incredible to go back on
next level.
It will. It certainly will. And we've got a screenshot on the site as well. Get a nice view of, looks like an aerial atom or something like that, and it just looks fantastic. You're sitting low in the car, and it just looks so real, doesn't it? Incredible.
I swear though, I mean, I remember a while back it was rumored to be cancelled because apparently it made, I forget his name now, the Sony man. It made the Sony man feel sick.
Ah, yes,
do you remember
I heard that? Yeah.
And they got canned, and then it suddenly came back.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because we don't know who. I mean, I imagine Evolution developed the majority of the title.
Yeah.
And then perhaps, I mean, they might have fully developed it. It might have been complete, but I imagine it's probably more likely that a different team has sort of put the sort of icing on the cake. And
Evolution probably handed over the existing assets or something, and then they, like you say, built on top of that, maybe.
Yeah, if that's the case, it's a shame, isn't it? They couldn't release it as themselves, like as a sort of crowning glory to, like the closure to Driveclub, really, isn't it? Because the launch was a terrible mess, and they deserve to sort of release the Driveclub VR as the last sort of, the very last thing they did. It's just a shame, isn't it? It didn't work out that way.
Yeah, and obviously it was a bit of a shock when they got shut down as well.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
They had so much planned for Driveclub, and it just ended there. It was getting better and better every month. I mean, I think I wrote on the site, it was one of the best supported racing games I've ever seen.
I mean, what's the future of Driveclub? I mean, if they're releasing VR version of it, I mean, is it dead in the water after that? Is there any chance that it could be revived?
Yeah, it's hard to say. Sony aren't the best when it comes to reviving series. I mean, look at Wipeout.
Mm.
Exactly the same thing happened there. They shut down the studio, but because they
Yeah.
own the license, it's gone. Never seen again.
On the plus side, we get a lot of indie developers trying to make the next Wipeout. So
Yeah, that's true.
the
Don't
sort of
necessarily
silver
need
lining.
an official Wipeout game anymore.
Yeah, yeah. That's about the only plus point, isn't it?
Yeah.
But,
But whilst on the subject of VR, we also had news of Bank Limit. It's not really a game that's had a lot of publicity here, but nonetheless, another futuristic racer, and it will have VR support.
yeah, I mean, we don't know much about this at all, do we?
No, it kind of came out of the blue when we first announced it.
So I mean, it's coming out in 2 weeks, so it's interesting because you've got your sort of the HUD is on the sort of screen of the craft.
Yeah, I love that.
So it's very clean, it's very modern, it's very slick. So it's coming out for the PC, Oculus Rift, and HTC Vive. So hopefully Alan will be able to get on that on the Vive. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm just watching the trailer now. It does look very slick. I love the scale of the environments as well.
Yeah,
there's that huge drop. We just see the massive cityscape.
Yes, it's like a weapon-based racing, isn't it? And so you've got 3 different worlds, 20 tracks. That's a decent amount of tracks, and up to 25 cars on the track at once. So
cars?
Well, yeah. I mean, what would you call those? I'm not sure what you'd
craft. I don't know.
Yeah, sort of futuristic craft.
I noticed too, actually, on Twitter, the developers of Formula Fusion are sort of toying with VR at the moment, which is a bit of a hint.
Ah, okay, that's cool. It's very, it's almost like distance-like, isn't it? It's, I think they're
Bank Limit.
They're, I think they're trying to get VR sorted on that, or they've already got it. I'm not sure, but I need to find out a bit more about this game. Certainly.
It reminds me a bit of Radial G as well, just the way it's on this sort of tubular track almost.
There are quite a few similar titles, so it's easy to sort of get them mixed up, isn't it?
It is. It really is.
Yeah. But, there's certainly a well-satisfied sort of sub-genre of the racing market.
It's not a bad thing, though, in the week of Wipeout.
Yeah, it's true. Interesting to see how that plays. Like I say, hopefully Alan can knock out a video or 2 on this in the next couple of weeks, and I look forward to seeing that.
It does.
Hopefully, he won't be grinding against the rails all the time. Formula Fusion.
Yeah, I mean that's just part of Wipeout, I'm afraid. Or at least if you're not any good at it.
Yeah, it's an odd title, isn't it? Bank Limit. I mean, you think,
Yeah, it's not a game about overdrafts.
Yeah. Get back in the red. Was it black? No, it's black, isn't it? It's good. Red is bad. Get back in the black. Advanced battle racing. It's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it, as well? So it's not one that rolls off the tongue. So
it's not as bad as the Rocket League game, the one that came before Rocket League.
Oh,
What was that called again?
Supersonic, acrobatic, rocket-powered battle cars.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
How many syllables is that? That's crazy.
Too many. And I simplified it to Rocket League. Yeah. So much easier.
More VR news actually.
Yes. Keep it coming.
Yeah, more VR news. Coffin Dodgers. Remember that one?
Yes.
It now has VR support, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, I've got to write an article on this. It has, I believe, it has a VR demo.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm not sure if it's released yet.
No, they're still trying to. The demo has been released now.
Okay, cool.
But it's a one-off demo basically. It's not the full game in VR.
I haven't actually seen it. Have you seen it at all? Is it if it's from the cockpit perspective, or is it?
It's a first person one. Yeah,
that's really surprising actually.
So not the racing game you'd perhaps expect to get the VR treatment yet.
No, absolutely. I was just surprised when I heard about that. Pretty bonkers stuff. I mean, we do have another bonkers game. I don't know if you remember it. Modern Zombie Taxi Company. That's pretty crazy. You got these monsters and stuff. It's scheduled for launch of the PlayStation VR. So that'd be another interesting, quirky, fun, colourful title.
I
much
don't remember
like
that one.
Coffin races. Yeah, so you go around, you pick up zombies, of course, in your taxi, and you drop them off, and you know, as you drive around, you can see the zombies either in your rear view mirror, obviously in VR you can look behind you, and you see all the zombies sort of getting flown around at the back of the cab, like, you know, as you're driving along. So it's pretty bonkers stuff. But it's one of those games, much like Coffin Dodgers, is going to be just sort of a bit of fun for 5 minutes, and you know,
Yeah,
it's very,
that sounds good.
yeah, it looks cool.
I'm not quite sure how Coffin Dodgers will look in VR, though, considering the graphics aren't quite up to speed, to put it politely.
Yeah, I mean, it's very sort of cartoony, isn't it? So who knows?
I guess in some ways it lends itself quite well to VR because it's not very resource heavy.
Yeah, true enough. Yeah, you have to experience it, don't you? You have to put the headset on to know.
It'd be quite unique.
Yeah, I look forward to testing that out in the future, along with Modern Zombie Taxi Company, which looks a bit insane. But you know, these are only very sort of short-lived experiences. Yeah, not spending too much time playing these games, but they'd be fun for 5 to 10 minutes.
Oh, we forgot to mention F1 2016.
Yes, another hot lap video. This time was Hockenheim, to coincide with the Germany Grand Prix, which took place last weekend.
Did you watch it?
Did I watch it? I did. Yeah, I had it on in the background mainly. Yeah,
I tried to watch it.
So dull. It was like,
I lasted about 5 laps.
Yeah, you had the 2 leaders at the front, and there was only like a second or 2 behind. You know, in the race, and I was just waiting for Rosberg in second place to catch up to Hamilton in first place, and it just didn't happen. So I was looking around every so often. So it was like lap 20, same, lap 30, yep. Okay, still same. No change. You know, it was awful. So yeah, rubbish.
Did you see the touring cars on the other hand?
No, I didn't. But I'll probably get back into that because F1's getting to a stage now that's getting a bit dull.
Let's just say that touring car race was a little bit more exciting.
Yeah, I bet it was.
Well, a car rolled over and hit the camera tower.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so there's a contrast for you.
Yeah.
So they're all okay, by the way, but it was really spectacular.
Okay, but this Hockenheim hot lap video, I mean, it's getting a bit boring now, isn't it? We're seeing hot lap video after hot lap video. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no more races now until the release of F1 2016, so we won't be getting any more hot lap videos before the release. Yes. So hopefully it can show us
something different.
Yes, show us something a bit more exciting. Show us a race, perhaps, you know, because we're only seeing one car on the track, and we've seen that. They need to move on now. They need to show us a race. They need to show us how intense the racing action is, and
that'd be difficult in F1.
Yeah. Show us some overtakes. You know, show us things that are not going on in the real F1 world. You know.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
they'll probably just show us the formation lap or something.
Yes, imagine that. Oh goodness!
As it is a new feature, they have to advertise it. That might happen.
Yeah, and you know the hot lap videos—they're all from the same perspective as well. So it's getting old now. They have to show us some racing and give us something a bit different.
Yeah, you know, something is that when Master is doing a better job of promoting than Codemasters.
Yeah.
in that sense.
Yeah, absolutely. But
it's out in a couple of weeks, isn't it?
It is. I mean, the way the time goes, it's incredible. So yeah, looking forward to hopefully getting my hands on F1 2016.
Yep, same.
10-year career mode. I mean, it's going to be pretty epic. As I said before, I'll just be getting the rubbish car. I always like starting with the rubbish cars. This dates back to Gran Turismo 1 days. I specifically look out for the worst car the game has, and I start with that. You know, well, in Gran Turismo, you're given X amount of money, so you have to buy a poor car anyway. But it put me in that way where I wanted to sort of drive the very crappiest cars to start with. So I'm going to drive the Manor Racing for F1 2016 and try to develop it through the R&D system and make it a championship winning car. So,
yeah, I mean, at least they are appealing a lot more to the kind of more hardcore fans of F1 as well.
Yeah, they
This
do
time
have
compared to last year.
the little features, the safety car, virtual safety car, all these little bits that just sort of
The
make it
controlled
more,
starts,
yeah, closer to the real thing.
I think in a way it kind of goes on from Dirt Rally, doesn't it? In a way, because that was also almost like a response to people that wanted more hardcore racing games from Codemasters.
Yeah.
F1 2016 seems to be taking notes from Dirt Rally, I think, in that regard.
Yeah, I mean they've got some good momentum now, so it's going to be interesting to see where they go from here. How far can they push the sort of simulation element with their racing games? But I guess the next Codemasters game will have to be something a little bit more light-hearted.
Yeah, like I said, we'll get another F1 Race Stars probably.
Yeah, imagine that. Yeah, that was interesting, wasn't it? Seeing the real drivers in
I quite enjoyed it at the time.
throwing the power-ups and stuff. Yeah, it was novel, wasn't it? It was something that was unique. And yeah, it'd be nice to see another game, another iteration of that.
And again, there weren't that many sort of kart racing games either at that point.
Yeah, and we're seeing a resurgence now because
I'm seeing a resurgence in everything lately in the racing genre. It feels like futuristic games, retro games.
Yeah, the indie scene is really, getting up to steam now. So it's interesting seeing all these different sort of subgenres getting a little kick up the backside, and yeah, it's exciting times at the moment.
No, it is. I mean, you can't really grumble at the diversity.
No, absolutely, and you're looking more and more to the indie scene, aren't you, for that diversity?
Exactly. Yeah, we've so many naysayers in the past about the racing genre. It just shows how varied it actually is.
Yeah, and until you actually tell people and show them, no, actually, there's 50, 60 games in development.
Yeah.
They just won't believe you. So it's all there. I mean, sometimes you have to look hard for a lot of these games, admittedly.
Yeah,
but they are out there. It's just a matter of finding them all. We don't actually find them all, believe it or not. So there's
always
certainly
some that slip by us.
Yeah, absolutely. So we don't know it all, but yeah, that's why we rely on. Well, we don't rely on, but it'd be nice to get companies sort of contact us with their games because we can't sort of get them all, but we try our best to cover as many as possible, and
exactly.
Certainly a lot of diversity. Yeah.
I mean, speaking of indie games as well, I've been playing some Obliterators. And that's a game you were quite keen on as well.
Yes, I haven't actually got around to playing it yet, sadly.
Oh, great.
But yeah, it looks absolutely fantastic, doesn't it? It's like a micro machine style. You race, you competitors off the screen, I believe.
Yep.
And fantastic art style, fantastic details on the vehicles. And lovely particle effects. It just looks like a really polished product. Is that true?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, playing it, I must admit, it reminds me a lot of Mashed. Do you remember that?
Barely, yeah.
Okay. A bit of a cult one, that, but it was a sort of Micro Machines S title, but with a more of a focus on combat.
Yeah. Did it have tanks? I think I remember tanks. Or am I getting confused with... Oh, okay.
It's going back quite a bit. It was a massive title on PS2 at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does remind me of Mashed a lot because it's not just racing, straight up racing, trying to get first place. There's a lot of combat involved.
A lot of strategy, would you say?
I haven't played it enough yet to really judge for sure. But
okay.
I mean, for example, if you die, for example, you then get to launch missiles into the remaining cars. So, yeah, there's a little bit of tactical play going on there as well.
Okay, that's cool.
But yeah, I'm quite enjoying it so far. Also, what's interesting, it's I guess to make it a bit more sort of retro, the camera's actually fixed on the leader all the time rather than your car.
Ah, okay, well, that's interesting.
It's interesting, yeah. So if they get too far ahead, you then go off screen.
So that's how they do it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're the leader, it probably makes racing harder, doesn't it? Because you have less screen ahead of you to see what's coming up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, the Micro Machines days,
Yeah, quite a unique little game, that.
Yeah, looks pretty cool.
I think my only real gripe with it, I mean, it's clearly designed for multiplayer.
Yeah.
I'm playing through the campaign, and I can see myself completing that pretty fast.
Ah, okay, yeah.
So I'm not so sure if it has a lot to offer for single player. There's not even a single player mode either. It's just career.
Oh, okay.
So you can't just race on any track you like with any car you like, to my knowledge.
So there's no sort of quick race mode, anything like that. No.
Not that I've seen so far. No, it's
That's
just probably a
very unusual.
list. It's just a list of races in the career, and that's it.
Okay.
So it's obvious that they really want people to play it on in multiplayer.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get on that game and share my thoughts on it as well, because it does look like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it so far. Like you said, great art style as well, very distinctive.
Mm. A
I
lot of
think
elevation is there in tracks. I noticed on the trailer there was a track where you're sort of sliding down this sort of dip, and you sort of go back up again. Would it be fair to say that the tracks are varied in terms of elevation?
Yeah, there's a
quite
desert
interesting.
track. There's a desert track. There's a sort of futuristic city track as well. That's quite a good track as well, because you have to avoid the traffic as well.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah,
that's
it's like flying cars that you have to avoid and stuff like that.
that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, good little indie title that. Like I said, it really reminds me of Mashed, which is, I know, has a lot of a bit of a cult following.
Mm.
So yeah, what else have you been playing?
I've been playing a lot of Gran Turismo 6 actually lately.
Okay.
I guess I'm gearing up for GT Sports. But I love, you know,
You do what I
buying...
do then. When a new film comes out, you watch every film in that series before that film comes out.
Sometimes, yeah, you sort of get this impulse, don't you? And I love playing Gran Turismo 6 with all the assists off, and even the not the ABS, sorry, it's ABS actually, yeah, with the ABS off. And if you ever raced Gran Turismo 6 on a wheel and pedals with ABS off, it's a completely different experience compared to ABS on.
You get used to that tire squeal sound, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, using the T300 pedal set, it's so sensitive, the brake pedal, so it sort of teaches you impeccable sort of brake control. So you're using probably, I don't know, maybe like 10, well, probably more like 15-20% of the pedal, but within that 10-15% throw of the pedal, it's like ultra sensitive, because you don't really get that sort of dampening until you get further down into the pedal range. So you've got to be very, very sort of delicate on the brakes. And to me, that's a fantastic challenge. And I love just hot lapping cars around the Nürburgring. And I love taking them to the Goodwood Hill climb as well. So yeah, it's a lot of fun, Gran Turismo 6. Yeah, I mean, they took away the test track, didn't they, from 5? But I sort of replaced my test track with the Goodwood. So that was all good. That was all Goodwood. But yeah, I love playing Gran Turismo 6. It does have, you know, it did get a lot of sort of backlash for not being a massive sort of improvement over 5. I mean, there was a different handling model, which to me felt great initially. Now I've gotten used to it, of course. But yeah, I mean, as much as it didn't sell very well, I think it's a great title. And yeah, just I'd love spending time on that on the Nürburgring, basically. Elsewhere, then, other than
like
that,
a Nürburgring.
Yeah, I do. It's my favourite track. What can I say?
And it's Alan's least favourite track.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it? And I think he's one of his favourites, Silverstone. That's one of my worst ones.
There you go.
It all depends.
I'm kind of in the middle. I do quite enjoy the Nürburgring just for the challenge.
Yeah, it's an epic track. And other than Gran Turismo 6, I've been playing Dirt Rally and Project Cars, and Project Cars Game New Edition as well.
The usual suspects, then.
Pretty much, yeah.
I've been playing something very different to them.
Yep. Obliterators is very different, isn't it? Anything else?
That's true, actually. Yeah. Actually, I've been playing a lot of GTA 5 lately.
Ah, yes.
I'm a bit addicted, actually, I think. And it's
So
all thanks to the Cunning Stunts update.
Yeah, that's it, Cunning Stunts. I was just trying to get the name out of my head there.
Brilliant.
Yeah. That's fantastic. And there was another recent update, wasn't there, for that? I believe.
Yeah, they've released a track edit. Well, yeah, there's some more cars as well. It only came out a couple of weeks ago, but they've updated it several times since.
Incredible.
There's more cars, I believe, some more kind of off-roaders, and they've also released a track editor for it.
Ah, okay.
Which I haven't yet actually tried.
Sounds like it's getting more and more like Trackmania.
Oh yes, it's yeah, it's very, very similar in that. So, I mean, I guess the main difference though is it is competitive racing, whereas Trackmania isn't.
Yeah.
It does get very chaotic, though, I have to say.
Yeah, I think I've seen one of your gameplay videos, and
Yeah, if you saw the TeamVVV Twitter feed lately, you might have seen a brief little video of mine racing on GTA, and there was a bit of a pile-up.
yeah, putting it mildly.
It was a narrow tunnel, and we all plowed into each other, and then it just resulted in massive flips. Pretty spectacular stuff.
Sounds good to me.
No, I'm really enjoying it, though. I mean, it's not obviously a dedicated racing game, but it is surprisingly good.
Mm.
I mean, the driving physics as well. I mean, where credit's due, it is surprisingly detailed.
I haven't actually put much time into. No, I mean, I did put a lot of time into GTA 4, and that driving model was, yeah, I mean, it's very arcade-like. I did used to enjoy the online races, but yeah, I guess it's come a long way.
GTA 4 had more, almost you could say, more realistic handling than GTA 5. They've made it a little bit more arcadey because people complained that in GTA 4 it wasn't really accessible enough.
Yeah, I guess while I'm saying arcadey, I think, I mean, yeah, I guess perhaps 4 had better weight to the cars. Yeah. But once you got airborne, you know, that weight sort of went against you, and you could flip all over the place. But it was fun. But you know, it's not a game that I would expect too much from regarding sort of out-and-out racing. But it seems like they're getting better and better all the time.
Yeah, I mean, the physics are actually surprisingly detailed. Like, all the cars actually have proper drivetrains and everything, so you can tell when something's rear-wheel drive or front-wheel drive.
Mm.
So yeah, there is a lot of detail there, and they have. I mean, since the PS4 version, anyway, they all have fully modelled interiors as well.
Yeah, yeah, very impressive, isn't it?
And like, you can look to your side, you can see all the plush leather on the seat, and it's incredible when you consider it's a massive open world game.
It's absolutely bonkers, isn't it, what they're achieving? But I'd love to see Rockstar bring back like a Midnight Club game.
Ooh, yes, I forgot all about Midnight Club.
Because they've got all the sort of resources there. And you know, they've got everything in place. You just need to just make into a game, you know, a standalone game.
Yeah, I mean, Midnight Club Los Angeles, I think, was the last ever racing game they made.
Yeah, and that was a long time ago, 2008 or something. So
yeah, wow,
we're desperately overdue a new Midnight Club.
You can tell as well. You can tell they're there's a lot of car fans in that company. I mean, some of the car designs in GTA 5 take such obvious inspiration.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they announced a racing game pretty shortly, next year or two.
You never know, but I think there's probably more demand at the moment for a Red Dead Redemption sequel.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, because the resources are all there, you can, you know, just sort of copy paste it over from GTA 5. So, who knows?
Or they could surprise us and make another Smugglers Run.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
The Smugglers Run 3.
So
have you ever played that?
Yeah. Elsewhere then, not really much we haven't covered. We didn't get around to NASCAR yet, did we? So.
Oh yeah, NASCAR. There was a developer diary on that.
Yeah, give us
some gameplay of cars driving in circles.
We have some gameplay of like you say, of cars driving in circles, and it probably looks a little bit better than from the
I mean, you can say in fairness, it is an improvement on what we saw before. I mean,
you mentioned that the frame rate before wasn't quite up to scratch in the trailer.
No, it was. Yeah, I mean, Alan wouldn't be best pleased with it, put it that way.
Yeah. But visually, I mean, it doesn't look fantastic, does it? It's it
looks okay. It doesn't look spectacular.
Okay.
I mean, we're not obviously NASCAR fans here, so we're probably not going to be the most objective of people on it. But I think if you're a true NASCAR fan, there is potential for it because it is the old developers of, I think it's NASCAR Heat.
Yeah,
it must be. It's NASCAR Heat Evolution, which was at its time quite highly regarded before Technics took over.
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
So I think if the visuals aren't there, the fan service will be, with any luck. I mean, looking at the developer diary, they're clearly very passionate about it.
Yeah, absolutely. They're talking about the adaptive AI, which is interesting.
Yeah. I think there's a sneak peek at the damage as well.
Oh, okay. I didn't quite see that. So
scanning the video, I think there was a small crash because, like I said last week, you can't have a good NASCAR game without spectacular crashes.
Absolutely, yeah. And there's 2 driving physics models, so
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good idea. I think more racing games are going to need to adapt that.
yeah. I mean, I'd love to see, like in Gran Turismo, they mentioned before about having a sort of hardcore mode for those that want that extra challenge.
Yeah,
Be nice to see that in GT Sport, but you'd have to separate the two. Then that's the problem, isn't it? So we might not get that until probably GT7. But
I guess most racing games do have options to obviously change the traction control and stuff like that. But as far as preset, arcade or simulation,
yeah,
it's something other games could benefit from.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be under pressure as well, aren't they? Because the likes of Assetto Corsa coming out, so people are going to be wanting that extra sort of bit of realism. So
yeah,
I can imagine GT7 definitely having a sort of hardcore mode attached.
But again, the problem with NASCAR, it's not coming out in the UK.
No, which is a great shame.
Probably wouldn't sell.
Because NASCAR 15 didn't come out in the UK either, did it? As far as I know.
Nope, not officially.
It's a shame. So we can't cover it in video. We'll cover it in news, but yeah, I'd like to get into it, but we haven't got the opportunity to, sadly. So
I'd like to try it. I mean, I've never really played a NASCAR game properly.
No, same here. Yeah.
Apart from Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
And that definitely doesn't have good crashes.
No, it doesn't. No.
But yeah,
I didn't actually enjoy the handling of the NASCAR cars in Gran Turismo. They felt too understeery, you know?
Yeah, it just wasn't fun to drive, was it?
No. If it's like that in the real games, then maybe be better off not playing them. But
I'd be curious to see what it's like in Forza, though, because they made quite a big deal about the NASCAR expansion.
Yeah, true enough.
What can we say? We'll wait and see how that's received.
Yeah. Is there anything else we've missed? I think that's probably it, is that?
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Just scouring the site.
I believe.
No, I think that's it for this week.
Wrap things up for this week. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's it from us then. Thanks as ever for listening, and do like and subscribe and enter our giveaways. We'll see you next time.